Before Spider-Man Brand New Day releases, there's one group Marvel fans need to understand because if the trailer is anything to go by, they could become one of the biggest threats to the entire movie. That group is The Hand. And make sure to subscribe as I'm dropping a Brand New Day related video every day until the movie drops, and I just uploaded my Everything You Need to Know video, so make sure to go check that one out. So if you watched the Netflix Marvel show years ago, you probably remember them as the ninja cult Daredevil kept fighting in dark hallways, and now they're officially coming back in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And to understand The Hand, we need to go all the way back to the comics. The Hand first appeared in Daredevil 174 in 1981 and was created by the legendary writer and artist Frank Miller. And honestly, Frank Miller completely changed Daredevil forever with this storyline. Before this era, Daredevil was mostly a street hero fighting gangsters and criminals, but Miller introduced martial arts mythology, ninja warfare, and psychological trauma into the character's world. That's where The Hand comes in. The Hand began as a secret Japanese ninja cult that eventually became corrupted by dark supernatural forces. And over centuries, they evolved into a massive criminal empire built around assassination, organized crime, occult rituals, and resurrection. And one of the most terrifying things about The Hand is that death really doesn't stop them. The organization practices dark magic capable of resurrecting dead warriors and brainwashing them into loyal servants. But their greatest enemy has always been another ancient warrior group called the Chase. The Chase is led by Stick, Daredevil's blind martial arts mentor. While The Hand represents corruption and power, the Chase represents discipline and spiritual balance. Their war stretches back centuries, and this is where Elektra becomes incredibly important. In the comics, Elektra was originally trained by Stick alongside Matt Murdock, but eventually she was manipulated and corrupted by The Hand, turning her into one of Marvel's deadliest assassins. And that same relationship between Daredevil, Elektra, Stick, and The Hand became one of the defining parts of Daredevil mythology. And eventually Marvel adapted all of this into the Netflix show. Now let's talk about Daredevil Season 2, because this is where The Hand really exploded into a live-action MCU timeline. So during the Netflix Season 2 of Daredevil, Matt Murdock begins investigating mysterious killings connected to gangs across New York. At first the story seems grounded and realistic like Season 1, but eventually Matt encounters Nobu again, the mysterious ninja warrior from Season 1 who was supposed to be killed by Matt himself. Except now, Nobu is alive. And that's when Daredevil realizes The Hand has resurrection abilities. And honestly, this is a moment where Netflix universe became far more supernatural than many fans expected. And I'll be honest, it kind of took me out of Season 2 because I really dug the Punisher parts. And then we're talking about some supernatural ninja stuff. But Season 2 reveals that The Hand has infiltrated New York for years, secretly moving weapons, bodies, and resources underneath the city. Their goal revolves around obtaining a substance connected to immortality and resurrection. At the same time, Elektra returns to Matt's life, and we discover she's deeply tied to The Hand's plans because she may be the Black Sky, a legendary living weapon the organization has been searching for. Season 2 becomes far darker and more mythological as Matt, Elektra, and Stick battle waves of hand ninjas throughout New York. And some of the show's most iconic scenes come directly from the storyline, especially the stairwell and rooftop fights against entire groups of hand assassins. But Daredevil Season 2 was really just setting up something bigger: the Defenders show. The Defenders is where Marvel finally reveals the truth about The Hand. In the show, The Hand is led by 5 ancient leaders: Alexandra, Madame Gao, Murakami, Suwandi, and Bakudo. The show reveals that long ago, these leaders originally came from Kunlun, the mystical city connected to the Iron Fist mythology as well as Shang-Chi as we saw in his movie. But after becoming obsessed with immortality and power, they were exiled and eventually formed The Hand. To survive for centuries, they used the bones of dragon remains beneath New York City to create a resurrection substance capable of extending life. That's why throughout the Netflix shows, The Hand constantly searches for ways to maintain immortality. And for me, this is where the show gets really weird, because underneath New York City, there's literally an ancient dragon skeleton buried beneath Manhattan. That becomes the center of the Defender storyline, and The Hand plans to excavate the dragon bones underneath Midland Circle Financial, using the substance inside them to continue living forever. So in order to stop them, Daredevil teams up with Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Together, they become the Defenders. Meanwhile, Elektra is resurrected by The Hand using their dark rituals, as she was killed by them in Season 2, and then in the Defenders they brought her back to life, and they made her the Black Sky. Under Alexandra's control, Elektra becomes emotionally disconnected and incredibly dangerous. But throughout the series, Daredevil desperately tries to bring her humanity back. Eventually, everything climaxes beneath Midland Circle as the Defenders battle The Hand underground, while the building collapses around him. And Daredevil chooses to stay behind with Elektra as the structure becomes crashing down. Of course, he survives and later returns to Daredevil Season 3, but the Defenders seemingly destroys the Hand's leadership completely. Or at least that's what we thought, because now the Hand is officially back. And this is where things get really important for Spider-Man Brand New Day. The first trailer for the movie shows Spider-Man fighting red-clad ninjas inside what appears to be a prison sequence. And these definitely are the Hand ninjas. They're wearing the same robe that Nobu wore against Daredevil. And speaking of Daredevil, let's talk about where Daredevil is in the current MCU timeline. So in case you didn't watch Daredevil Born Again Seasons 1 and 2, I'll quickly recap them for you. So Kingpin, aka Wilson Fisk, in Season 1 gets elected as mayor of New York City, and one of his main actions was creating the Anti-Vigilante Task Force, which was designed to arrest vigilantes in order to ensure nobody exposes the corruption he's going to commit as mayor. However, in Season 2, Matt actually reveals his identity to the public in order to help expose Fisk's crimes and ultimately get him removed from office. But by outing his identity, Matt gets arrested for his crimes as Daredevil. So as of right now in the MCU, Daredevil is in jail. So now the Hand knows Matt's exact location and are likely there to assassinate him, or they could be busting out Scorpion out of prison for whatever reason. So I hope it's the Daredevil route in this film, especially so we can see the Spider-Man, Punisher, and Daredevil team up I've always wanted to see. And based off the closing scene in the trailer, I definitely could see where two more heroes could be in this shot. So hopefully Marvel and Sony deliver on this and make it happen. But that is the Hand explained for you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. God bless you all.